All right, there seems to be no end to the mysterious death at former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha's Kodanad estate after theft murder cases. Now a suicide has been reported. Dinesh Kumar, who was one of the accountants employed at the estate, has been found dead, hanging in his house in Kottagiri under mysterious circumstances.
Yet another mysterious death at the Kodanadu estate. This time, a suicide. 28-year-old Dinesh Kumar, a computer operator who worked in the late Chief Minister's tea estate, was found hanging in his house. The mystery around Jaya's estate slowly turning into a full-fledged political crime thriller. It all started on the night of April 24th, when two guards at the estate spotted burglars around the estate. One of them, Om Bahadur, died in his attempt to stop them, while the other, Krishna Bahadur, survived after a bloody skirmish in which his fingers got chopped and he suffered a cut in his hand. The murderers then escaped. Soon after May 29th, Sasikala's former driver, the prime accused in the case, was killed in a road accident, while an alleged accomplice met with another road accident that killed his wife and child and grievously injured him. Initially, police had claimed that a lot of incriminating documents of shares, bonds and properties worth around rupees 80,000 crore were looted from the bungalow. What adds to the mystery is the fight over who will inherit the property, which is worth many crores. The shareholding of Jayalalithaa as one of the directors of Kodanad estate stands a little above 3 crores. The rest lies with Sasikala and her sister-in-law Ilavarasi. So is there really more than what meets the eye? Is the war over property the reason behind the heist and the murders? Bureau Report, India Today.
Meanwhile, India Today has spoken to the former owner of the Kodanad estate, who told us that he was coerced into selling off his estate.
Constant, persistent pressure from members of Jayalalitha's inner circle, Sasikala, other ministers, other members of the party. They pretty much worked on us for about 2.5 years. And while I was quite happy to take all the pressure, I had other family members who were finding it quite difficult.
What kind of pressure?
Well, a constant harassment of phone calls endlessly from supposedly influential people. They also sent, on one occasion, 150 gundas up to the estate to try and persuade me. They adopted pretty much every leverage they could. They used friends of our family, associates of our family. It was a fairly aggressive onslaught for about 2 years.
So was there any threat to your life and your family members which finally made you to give up the property?
No, I don't believe there was anything quite as direct as that, but it was made perfectly clear that if we didn't go through with the sale, things would become even more difficult than they currently were. And sending gundas to do your dirty work was also not very admirable.
The sordid saga of the Kodanad estate and the way it's played out prompts us at India Today to pose certain questions. The death of Jaya estate staff, murder or suicide? What is the mystery behind the Kodanad deaths? And why is the police unable to crack the Kodanad mystery? Who is the actual owner of the Kodanad estate, and are Kodanad deaths linked to estate documents? All right, joining me for more is T.S. Sudhir, consulting editor. K.C. Palaniswamy, spokesperson AIDMK, is going to be joining us on the phone line. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson DMK, and C. Chandrasekaran, advocate, he's also going to be with us. Before I go across to anyone, I want to come to you, T.S. Sudhir, and the question is, it's just bizarre the way things have panned out where the Kodanad estate is concerned. There have been consistent murders, now the suicide, which again under suspicion whether or not it was a murder or not.
Well, yes, I mean, the police has been quick to actually label it as a suicide, pointing to the fact that he had medical ailments which he was suffering from for some time, and therefore it was a suicide and probably some kind of domestic problems as well. And so it seems to be some kind of an attempt to kind of finish off the investigation at the earliest. But given the entire background and whatever has been happening in Kodanad estate since December 2016 when Jayalalithaa died, obviously gives rise to several suspicions as to what could really be the reasons. Remember, the Tamil Nadu police and the Tamil Nadu government are in charge of the investigation into the murders in the last 2 months. Obviously, there is more than what meets the eye. Therefore, probably what is needed is some kind of a CBI probe, an independent probe into what is really happening, given also the fact that the Tamil Nadu government is at least seen to be on paper as taking orders from B.K. Shashikala, who still remains the General Secretary of the AIDMK, and she's one of the 3 owners of the Kodanad estate. So definitely lots of questions, and it is for the Tamil Nadu government and the Tamil Nadu police to come clean on what really is happening inside that over 900 acres of the Kodanad tea estate.
All right, TS, stay on with us. Let's, we're joined on the phone line by K.C. Palaniswamy, spokesperson of the AIDMK. Mr. Palaniswamy, a lot of this mystery, the sordid saga that we've witnessed where the Kodanad estate is concerned would be clear if, the government came out with a word on it. But nothing coming in, which is confusing the situation even further.
Yeah. The estate is under the control of Ms. Sasikala. Her family is managing the estate. Sasikala's relatives, one Mr. Ravanan, who is residing at Coimbatore, he is informally in the control of the estate. So I suspect that there may be some outside elements and hands in that. And this is the 5th death. So far in Kodanadu, 5 deaths had happened. So this requires a CBI investigation. This should be taken very seriously.
But, Mrs. Sarvanan, spokesperson, the DMK is also with us. It needs to be taken seriously, Mrs. Sarvanan, but nothing is quite happening, which again are, because it's making people resort to various conspiracy theories.
Yeah, ever since the demise of Selvi Jayalalithaa, I think there is a problem, there is a tussle between how to share the assets of Selvi Jayalalithaa. If you look at the asset holding pattern, after 1991, Selvi Jayalalithaa has not purchased any property in her own name. Everything is in the joint name of Mrs. Sasikala or with Mrs. Ilavarasi. So they don't know, they want to know, they don't know how to go about that. That is the main reason driving behind this. If you look at what's happening in Kodanad, our leader Mr. M.K. Stalin was very categorical. He said the police cannot be expected to investigate fairly and fairly. So he wanted the Chief Secretary to monitor the investigation. He issued a statement, but nothing on that sort had happened. If you look at the earlier deaths, the mysterious way the watchman was murdered and how the suspect was also done to death in a road accident. It is coincidental, but we don't believe in coincidences when it comes to such situations. So probably a CBI probe would bring out the truth. But of course, right now, as pointed out by our leader, Mr. M.K. Stalin, the Chief Secretary to look into these aspects and ensure that the properties are not pilfered away.
All right.
They are also subject of attachment by the court. The property belongs to the people.
Right. All right. See, Rajasekharan is also with us. Mr. Rajasekharan, there are conspiracy theories which are abound. All of this could have been stemmed if there was a proper investigation that was announced. Clearly, this requires a lot more than what we are seeing or what meets the eye. And there is a lot more going on itself. A CBI probe, at least, seems to be the order of the day here.
See, actually, these incidents, these deaths, definitely are raising eyebrows. If that is the case, DMK cannot say that these are coincidences, cannot be taken lightly, because death is not in the hands of any human being, or it is not man-made. See, this person who died yesterday had some issues with his eye. There was a eye surgery done on him, and he committed suicide. That's what we understand from the media reports. Likewise, in the 2G spectrum case, there was one man called Sadiq Basha, who was one of the most important witness, prosecution witness, and he had spilled some important piece of evidence before the CBI. So he died in a very mysterious manner, and they said it is a suicide. Okay, going by that argument, okay, it is a suicide, and there was an investigation done, and likewise many other deaths in the DMK, Anna Nagar Ramesh, and so many other deaths which happens to be suicide. So I don't want to go into every death.
No, what does the DMK have to do with this?
Why are you talking
Mr. Rajasekharan, what does the DMK right now have to do with this?
I'm just
Exactly.
telling. See, I'm not casting aspersions like what the DMK is doing. It is not my cup of tea, rather, because
What
I don't
are you
gain
doing?
anything
What
out
else
of
are
it.
you doing?
I'm only highlighting.
You are a hired gun. What else are you
No,
doing?
but Mr. Rajasekharan, you know, with what you're highlighting, you're completely missing the
I'm not a stooge
goalpost.
of any political party. I'm not a hired gun of anybody. I'm only speaking the truth, what is available in the public
You're a
space.
hired gun.
No, definitely not. I'm not a stooge of any political party. I don't argue for anybody, and I don't hold brief to anybody. I have not taken single rupee to speak for anybody. It is my own conscience. I am telling what is available, what is there in the public space. See, the has to be investigated. Likewise, you apply the same yardstick to DMK. See, I have nothing against DMK.
What is the...
There are so many deaths during the DMK regime too.
How does that...
Where you be so selective?
Mr. Rajasekharan, let's be a little calm.
I just want to comment for a moment.
Calm down a little.
I just want to comment for a moment.
All right. You know, I'm going to just come down to you. I'm going to come to you, Mr. Saravanan. But Mr. Rajasekharan, you know, have a glass of water. Just calm down a little. You know, you're drawing comparisons.
Sudhir understood what I meant.
Mr. Rajasekharan, you're drawing comparisons. So very calmly, let's look at your argument. You look at it yourself. Do you reckon it's prudent of you right now to bring in the DMK and draw comparisons with what's going on where the DMK is concerned?
I'm not casting aspersions on anybody. This death may be natural also.
No, there's something which is going on.
Some allegation.
Already, Saravanan wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Saravanan.
At this Kodanadu death,
One second, Mr. Rajasekharan. Let Mr. Saravanan come.
Yeah,
but I'm not saying this is right and this is wrong.
Sir, Preeti, see, if Mr. Rajasekharan was drawing parallels to what happened to Mr. Sadiq Basha, I want to remind everybody that Mr. Sadiq Basha's death was investigated by the CBI, and CBI ruled that it was a suicide. That is what everybody is asking here. They say, please have a CBI investigation. That is the demand of almost everybody who has interviewed. I think this Mr. Rajasekharan is trying to, divert the issue by bringing in unnecessary issues. Why has he not?
No, my learned friend Saravanan is learned friend is
in everybody's interest. In everybody's interest.
Against me personally, which my friend not make allegations against me. I am not.
No, these are not allegations. TS, do you want to come in there? Because these are clearly not allegations. But it's a bizarre debate that we are witnessing right now. Because let's just look at the story. What's going on is completely bizarre. We have mysterious deaths. We have a suicide which nobody quite knows whether it was a murder.
Well, Preeti, what we are indulging in is a case of whataboutery. Just as we see in the case of lynchings, when everybody says what happened in 1984, what happened in the case of Muzaffarnagar, it's pretty much the same, that the deaths in AIDMK are obviously made to seem as suspicious as the deaths which happened during the DMK regime. But that does not really answer the question as to what really is happening in Kodanad. Remember, even when Jayalalithaa was chief minister and when she would go to Kodanad tea estate, the entire place was like an iron curtain. No one in Tamil Nadu had any clue to what really was happening inside the Kodanad estate. There was no access to the chief minister's residence when she would move to the during the summer months in particular. So in that sense, the same situation pretty much continues. The only difference now is that Jayalalithaa is no longer alive. The property is in the name of Shashikala and Ilavarasi. There are suspicious deaths taking place there, whether they are murders or whether there is a case of suicide. That is for the investigating agencies to investigate. But at this point in time, given the fact that there is so much of suspicion as to what really is the cause for these deaths, a CBI, at least an independent probe is very much required. At least the people of Tamil Nadu definitely deserve.
All right, before we go into a quick break, Mr. Rajasekharan, I want to come back to you. What do you think? Let's leave the DMK aside. Let's leave the past instances aside. What do you think needs to be done in this case? Do you not reckon that it is time for an independent probe to be carried out where the Kodanad estate is concerned?
Preeti, I totally agree with you and also agree with Sudhir and agree with Arun. My point is, any mistakes happened in the high offices or high places should be inquired with an independent investigating authority. It should be the CBI as far as India is concerned. I am not saying there should be an investigation. Let me make it very clear.
All right.
Let it be an investigation.
I believe we have KC Palaniswamy, spokesperson of the AIDMK. He's back on the phone line with us. Yes, Mr. Palaniswamy, come in, sir.
Yeah, there are 5 unnatural deaths in the recent past has taken place in Kodanad, which needs to be investigated by a SIT, maybe by CBI. But this issue cannot be ignored further. At least to prevent further these type of unnatural deaths, someone should take up the investigation. And the estate is very much in control of Sasikala's family members. So they should be investigated and they should be made liable to this. And Mr. Rajshekhar's argument, some eye problem and already a 28-year-old boy who works in a sensitive accounts department with information technology, this IT department, is just hanging himself is totally unbelievable.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, appreciate you joining us. We're going to come right back to this debate as well. Well, even if it is possible, it seems that the Jayalalitha's Kodanad estate's mystery is only getting murkier with the death of another staffer in question, an accountant who was found hanging. Was it suicide? Was it murder? This is yet another death in connection with the Kodanad estate. Certain questions that we are prompted to be asked at this point of time. Primarily, are the deaths related to the estate papers? Who is the actual owner of the Kodanad estate? And isn't it time right now for an independent agency to carry out a detailed investigation when it comes down to the Kodanad estate? I want to go across to T.S. Sudhir, consulting editor. We also have A. Sarvanan. He is the spokesperson of the DMK. You know, T.S., there's been so much which has been said where the Kodanad estate is in question, but nothing till now comes to light. Nobody quite knows who's the real owner of the Kodanad estate. Nobody quite knows where the papers of the estate are, especially where the deaths are concerned. Are they actually related to the missing papers of the estate?
Well, we do know it for a fact that Jayalalithaa was at least 1/3 owner of the Kodanad estate, the other two being Shashikala and Ilavarasi. So in that sense, Shashikala and Ilavarasi, who are now presently housed at the Bangalore Central Prison, do control the Kodanad estate, and one of their men is the one who is taking care of the estate on it. But we do not know whether Jayalalithaa left any kind of will with regard to her part of the Kodanad estate or any of her other properties, both in Chennai, in other parts of Tamil Nadu and in Hyderabad. So that seems to be the big mystery as to who really inherits what is really in Jayalalitha's name, whether as part owner or as full owner. And that seems to be raising a whole lot of suspicions, especially the kind of ugly scenes that we saw a few weeks ago at Boys Garden, the bungalow Vedanilayam, which Jayalalithaa owns in her name. So in that sense, there is really no clarity as to what really happens to all the properties that are in Jayalalitha's name that Jayalalithaa declared in her election affidavit in May 2016, and who will inherit them. And given the fact that there is so much, both Deepa Jayakumar and Deepak Jayakumar have been staking claim to those properties, and the Tamil Nadu government at least wants to take over Boys Garden, the Kodanad estate, where Shashikala and Ilavarasi are also part owners, definitely comes under question, more so after these 5 deaths which have taken place under extremely mysterious circumstances.
All right, see Rajasrekaran, 5 deaths that have taken place. One thing is established, nobody... All right, we don't quite have C. Rajasekaran anymore. I believe we have A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. You know, one thing is quite certain, Mr. Sarvanan, that the Kodanad estate rot runs rather deep. What do you reckon that the government of the day needs to do with immediate effect where the state government is concerned?
See, one important aspect with regard to Kodanad in the present stage is that this estate has been attached in the wealth case, and after the Supreme Court's verdict, this property has to be confiscated. So it has to go to the state and by de facto to the people of Tamil Nadu. So probably one angle could be that they want to pilfer whatever is there inside the estate, or whatever is there, they could be pilfering, and that is the reason behind all this, whatever is happening. Definitely the state government needs to concentrate its efforts onto what's happening. If this is what is going to happen to a late chief minister who has been holding sway in the state, to her properties and people associated with her, we don't know what will be the plight of the common man.
Right.
And if you also look at that, higher level officer or some superior should consider, but nothing of that sort has come for yet.
All right. Let me also bring in KC Palaniswamy before we go in for a break. A quick word, Mr. Palaniswamy.
Yeah, at least the state government should immediately order for a CBCID probe. At least the state, because this is Amma's property, all these people are claiming that they are all following the footsteps of Amma and all that. And in her own property, where she spent quite a lot of time, and all these employees must be well known to her, and all these people's death has to be investigated by at least the Tamil Nadu police. The chief minister should come up now and order for a CBCID inquiry for it.
Gentlemen, appreciate you joining us. We'll continue to track details right here on the network. A fifth death that has taken place where the Kodanad estate is concerned. It's rather established that the rot runs deep, and the order of the day needs to be at least an independent probe carried out.